Let's talk about data types and fields, which is essentially setting up relationships between items in your database. So let's go into the demo app we've been working with so far. And we've got two data types here. First thing to point out, which is help you avoid an unnecessary step, is that there are a number of default fields created with any data type that you create. For example, this task data type has got creator user. That means you don't need to create a created by field like this and then say user. Okay, because this is just a duplicate of this field down here. And in fact, by creating the duplicate, you're just introducing a greater chance of a margin for error, making a mistake with it. So let's delete that. Let's add in a different data type, for example, projects. I'm going to make these private by default. And we'll say that projects has got a list of tasks. Now, there are two ways that we can approach this. One would be to say, let's give tasks a field of project. And a task will probably only be a member of one project. So I have it like that. And so that just means every time I create a task, I would save a project into it. And then if I wanted to show only tasks for a particular project, I would do a search for tasks where project equals the project that I want to show. I'm going to delete that because, at least in this application, it's probably leaner to do it like this. So I have a list of tasks on my project. Why is this leaner? Well, imagine that as a user, when the privacy rules are applied, I have created 1,000 tasks. Because I've got 10 projects, this is a bit overscaled, but I've got 10 projects and each of those has got 100 tasks in it. Well, if I was to do a search for tasks and constrain them by project, I'm saying take a look at all 1,000 and reduce it down to 100. Now, that's not going to be too much of an issue with Bubble. I mean, Bubble, there are a lot, you have to really consider scalability, and there are some limitations definitely to be aware of. But it's not a huge issue to do that, except it can be done better. So, whereas saying projects, in order to list the tasks, I would say this project's tasks, list of tasks, and I can use that as a data source in the repeating group. So rather than going from 1,000 down to 100, I can simply say, here are the 100 tasks. Also, some drag and drop plugins for repeating groups work better with lists because these will have an order to them. So effectively what I'm saying is every time I create a task, I will add that task to the list of tasks on the project. Now, the mistake, sort of related but unrelated, that I see people making, especially if they come from a traditional coding background and they haven't got that mindset of a no-coder yet, is to think, right, let's go into database and projects and let's just create a project. And in fact, let's create a task. And so we'll say test. Okay, everything in the Bubble database gets a unique ID. And here's the one for this one I just created. And so some people I've seen, they will think projects, right, in order to get a list of tasks, I need a list of task IDs. So they'll create tasks and then they'll set it to text and they'll set this as a list. And I mean, technically, this will work fine. It will allow you to insert a load of unique IDs, and then you'd have to go through the process of finding the right task and matching it to unique ID. But the point is, it is a process, and this is one that you don't need to do. Also, when you start comparing text fields and doing kind of that manual process, you're just, once more, introducing a greater margin for error. So it's far better to say tasks. So now projects can take a list of tasks. It's all no code. You never even have to see the unique ID. In fact, though, I'll throw in one quick tip here, which is in app data. Currently, I'll get a list of unique IDs in tasks. And when I'm debugging it, it's going to be frustrating because I won't know which one's which. I can change the primary field. So I can say that this doesn't affect anything in the rest of the editor. It doesn't affect anything for my users, but it now means that when I get a list of tasks, in fact, let me just demo it. So we've got task test and we've got task test 2. Okay, so in projects, we need to create a project. So I'll call this one P1. Okay, and now I can search for them by that name field that I had. Oh, I've put that as a slug. Hang on. Projects needs a name. Right, now let's go back and create a project. So I'll call this one P1. Add in our 2 tasks. So we can see that they are listed there, and they are listed using the title field, whereas before it was set to the unique ID, which isn't particularly helpful with me debugging it. So don't forget, set up primary fields so that it's readable, so it's easier for you to debug, and think about your approach to creating database relationships and do it as leanly as you can. See you in the next video.